Good afternoon, and shall I say, welcome aboard HeadTrip 1. If you have no idea what HeadTrip 1 is, you're not alone, because I am formally announcing the launch of my new virtual travel tour company, HeadTrip Air Travel Corp. So here's the deal. This specific episode is going to be geared towards a couple of my friends who are making the journey up there, I believe, this weekend. And so, you know what? This is for you guys. Tony and Melissa, you got me excited about Oregon. And I'm not even going. So you got me excited for you guys going to Oregon. So I'm going to fly along with you a little bit. We're pulled into LaGrande here, and LaGrande is what I would consider to be the gateway to Oregon. Now, I realize, if you're coming from Salt Lake City and through Idaho and Boise, technically probably Ontario is maybe your official gateway, but for some reason, Ontario for me just seems a little bit like an extension of western Idaho and Boise, but then you drive a little north, you pass Baker City, and you get up into LaGrande. You're starting to see some of the green a little bit. Now, this is just a teaser, because honestly, the green's gonna come and it's gonna vanish as quickly as it arrives. But that's okay, because from this point on, you're gonna see some magnificent changes in scenery, and it just kind of follows you along from this point forward in the journey, and it's very easy to start to tell where you're at any given time when you start to make this drive over and over and over again. So without further ado, I think we're going to get in the skies. I'm going to fly this thing over the Blue Mountains here. I'm going to try to follow the road that you're going to be taking up into it, and then back down Dead Man Pass into the Columbia River Basin, where once again we're in just flat lava bed. And when I say lava bed, it looks more like a desert, like a savanna, but that's where you'll find Pendleton. Pendleton's, knowing your trip, you're not going to have time for that this round. There's an underground tour that you can take. We haven't done it yet, but we really want to. Tunnels and stuff that go into the city has some history behind it. So, anyways, I am really guilty and have a bad reputation for talking way too much. And I could sit here and promise you all day that I'm not going to talk too much, and I'm just going to let you enjoy the beautiful scenery. But the problem is, I just can't help myself. So we'll be on and off. I'm going to be editing up this video. I'll upload it to the channel. Just caveat for everybody else out there watching, this is a customized tour specific to my friends heading up there. But you're welcome to travel along and join the journey and enjoy the sights. And I'm gonna. This is my pilot to see, well, I don't know, just to give this a try. I mean, come on, who gives you personalized tour guides like this? I mean, you may ask for a refund here in a little bit if I don't shut up. So here's what we're gonna do. Let me load up into the game. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with Microsoft Flight Simulator, Tony and Melissa. This is my second passion, because, as you can see, you can go anywhere you want in the world. Anywhere. Entire world rendered out, and it uses Bing Maps, satellite photographic and aerial imagery, and it's running off of Azure servers on the cloud and streaming just like petabytes and petabytes of data to your game. And it's the coolest thing in the world, because you pick a place, you go there, and it's exactly what you're going to see. It's real life. It's the real life. Let's just put it that way. So that's what we're doing here. And so I sit in this cockpit a lot, and just I'm not a very good pilot. I'll be honest, you're going to be glad you're driving in your car. They say driving in a car is actually more dangerous than flying in a plane. That is not going to be the case when you've got me at the yoke, but good news is you don't have to worry about that. So that's an extra bonus of your trip. You just get to enjoy the scenery from your vantage point and from my vantage point, and enjoy a little bit of just chill synthwave music along the way. It's good times. Good times. So we're going to fly this with True to Life controls, which means, basically this is simulated aircraft. You got to kind of know what you're doing, or you're going to land in the ground, which that could happen. I'm just going to warn you, I may not make it to my destination. Now, my first pit stop destination is going to be the Hood River Valley. That's a little bit of a drive, and I have to fly in real time. Okay, so I didn't look it up on Google Maps, but it's a several hour drive, I believe, from LaGrande. So who knows? I mean, maybe I'll have to do half of it tonight. It's 9:45 my time, but I've put the game to roughly 5:36, from what I recall, because I anticipate maybe that's roughly when you'll be driving through the area. By the way, if you're hungry in LaGrande, don't forget to stop at Moy's Dynasty. Nice little Chinese place. We have a joke that you can enjoy connecting to the Moy-Fi. The Moy-Fi is the Wi-Fi at Moy's Dynasty. Get yourself some noodles, get yourself some rice, get yourself some Szechuan chicken, and get yourself some Wi-Fi. And just enjoy it. Now, LaGrande is usually just a pit stop for me. We've stayed in a couple of hotels. There's nothing out of the ordinary fancy there. It's just a resting spot on your way. Wow, look at those cars out there. Hopefully the traffic is a little more wow. Okay. Hopefully you're not dealing with this kind of traffic in Oregon. If you are, it's probably let's just take a look at what's going on out there. That is just really, really fascinating. Okay. Well, as beautiful as this game is and wonderful, once in a while you get some backcrap crazy drivers. So let's hope we don't run into those on our way to the Gorge. All right, Jason, shut up. First thing I always have to do, though, I just can't help myself. There's this little sign here that says do not touch screens, and I have to do it. I have to. I just touch. It's my rebellious nature. Okay. So, anyways, let's just we'll get in the cockpit. We'll talk later. We can talk along the way. You don't have to sit and watch me, yammer and gab. Let me get my mouse out of the way, get my yoke and my throttle, and see if we can, well, just as I say that, I probably need a little bit of power on my Masters, so hold tight. Hey, maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you'll learn something about flying a plane. This is a Cessna 172 G1000 Skyhawk. Debbie says I'm not given permission to actually fly a real plane now or ever, because she's seen me fly this thing, and she does still want a father for her children. So, hey, some things must be done the second best way. Now that our master's on, I'm going to also turn on our avionics, which will help us to communicate with any radio frequencies, towers. I don't think we have any towers in LaGrande, but I could be wrong. So our radio's on. Now, the third thing you need to do is, just like your kids when they never fasten their seatbelt, or maybe Tony never fastens his seatbelt, or maybe Melissa never does, but there's going to be a warning. And so let's clear that warning, and that's probably what you do. You probably just wait the 45 seconds for that sucker to just shut up, and then you're like, hey, we're golden, right? Hopefully not. Buckle up, drive safe, because you are going to be going over Dead Man Pass on the other side of this mountain range. My wife never likes driving it. I love driving it. You'll know what it is when you get there. Kind of just this windy. On the other side of this mountain range, it's when you're descending down into the Basin. That's Dead Man Pass. And maybe if we get on autopilot, I can even Google it and see what the history is behind that. But when you're on Dead Man Pass, you know you're in Oregon. That's right. Hey, that kind of synchronized with the song. Wow, okay. That must be an omen. A good omen. Okay, second thing we need to do, guys, is this is what we call our mixture. If you can see this down here, this mixes our fuel and our air. You didn't know you were going to get a tutorial on mixture on your drive to the Dalles, but you are. Now, in lower elevations, you put that full in and just pump that sucker with gas. When you're up higher, you pull it out. The air is a little thinner, and you let a little more air in. But I would say we'll just put it about halfway, just where we're at. I mean, we are kind of up in the mountains, so maybe I'll go halfway. And if I crash, you'll know I did it wrong. Throttle, you usually put just about a quarter inch or half an inch in just to get to an idle position. What else is important? We got our, I'm not going to take my emergency brake off because I've done that many times and the plane just takes off. But we do want lights. Anytime you have a live engine, you want a beacon on. And anytime you're going to taxi, you want your taxi lights on. It's nice to have strobes so people can see you and they don't run into the back of your plane or in the front of your plane, even worse. We're going to get a fuel pump on, just to pump some fuel through this puppy. And I think we're in pretty good shape. This is the funnest part of the whole ride. This is the ignition. Your kids are going to be jealous because I'm pretty sure they're not driving. I could be wrong. Maybe they are. I know you have a couple driving age kids. So, isn't it fun to get behind the wheel, and especially when you don't know how to fly a plane? But we're going to crank those propellers on. And yeah, there we go. Now we have a little bit of help here. This guy is willing to, for a small fee, push us back. I don't think we need that. I think we'll just run him over because it looks like our runway is... That's never going to get old, is it? That's Portland. You know what it's trying to do? It's trying to simulate Portland rush hour. You might experience that. Don't let them steal your chance for Voodoo Donuts. Don't let them steal your chance for Voodoo. Get in there in a good hour. Okay. Messing around in the cockpit. But you know what? When you're doing the Oregon Coast trip, you're going to have some fun. Oh, by the way, so, hey, look, you guys are in no hurry. You've got like 10-hour drive. You could listen to me banter all day long. Okay, here's our little strobe I was telling you about, okay? That helps people just to see you. You know, it's kind of like wearing an orange vest when you're doing construction on I-15. That's what that does. Okay, what do you care, right? HeadTrip 1's getting ready to take off on its first, well, I shouldn't say it's its first, its second flight in Oregon. Okay. I mean, there's only so much I can stall here. Let's turn on the second monitor, even though I have, it's a little lonely here. Sometimes I'll have my wife fly with me, and if we're lucky, maybe she'll make her way up here and grab a headset and join us on our flight. If she knew where we were flying, I'll bet you she would do it. But she doesn't. She's got more productive things to do, clearly, than I do. So, let's do it. Let's get, call into tower. Let's get some clearance. KLGD, LaGrande on 122.8. Can you hear me? And they said, nope, I can't, because we are taking the day off. And that's pretty normal in Oregon, right? People just kind of work when they want to. The good news is they'll pump your gas. The bad news is you never know when they'll be open. So we're going to depart, let's see, let me think about this. This is going to be west, a little bit, probably just west. We're just going to depart west.
Kilo Lima Golf Delta traffic HeadTrip 12 taking off runway 30 departure to the west.
And by the way, I really enjoy that aspect about Oregon, that people just kind of work at their own pace. It's a little slower pace on the coast, at least. I'm not talking about Portland, but on the coast. And, you know, you show up on a Monday, and they're like, nope, I ain't coming to work today. And you're going, you know what, I fully respect that. I have every ounce of respect for that decision, and I will find breakfast somewhere else. Or I will find groceries somewhere else, or, you know, souvenirs, or gas for that matter, or emergency services. Because you know what? We don't go to the Oregon coast to work. We go to the Oregon coast to just find our happy place. Right? Are you feeling it? Are you excited? I'm really like overhyping it right now because I think I'm going to run into that mountain. I'm a little nervous I'm going to run into that mountain. Maybe we'll try to get some elevation before I make the attempt to go over it. Probably a good idea, but we'll try to be as efficient as we can be. So we've announced our intentions. That's important. If you have tower, you kind of got to wait for clearance. But if you don't have tower, you just tell people where you're going and say, get out of my way. So let's just find, I better at least pull up a map so I know where the taxiway is. Now I apologize if, oh, here we go. So there's, I'm going to put on GPS tracking so it keeps track of us really well. We're sitting here in general aviation parking. We're just going to turn to the right, go down a taxiway, and it looks like we have a nice little runway. Can I zoom in close enough? Looks like runway. They're not good enough. 9-7. We'll find out when we get there. That's going to actually be going the opposite way, but that's actually good because that'll give us a. Looks like it might be a. Well, let me see. That's kind of like a northeastern direction, but that'll give us some clearance so we can turn around and get over those mountains. All right, enough. Gonna be a lot of editing, Jason, if you don't wise up here. Okay, I do have to think about a few things though, because my flaps are okay. I usually put my flaps down one level, just like this. That's going to give us a little bit of lift when we take off. And my trim, don't even worry about it. I'm not going to explain that. You don't care. But I think and now fuel, that is important. I think I'm going to load up on fuel before we go, because the last thing we need to do is run out of fuel on our trip. So I would call someone in, but we'll just pull out the gas can, and that's enough. That's going to make us a little heavy on our flight. Hopefully it's not going to hinder our ability to get some, quick altitude, but you can't have your cake and eat it too. Okay, let's go. So, by the way, the intention is to maybe do a few of these if I have a chance. I do have a job, but I thought, here I am just cranking the throttle, and I did exactly what I told myself not to do, and that is forget to take off the emergency brake. Here's what happens when you release your emergency brake and you got throttle on. You just, I don't know, I guess that's alright. I didn't have enough throttle on to worry about it. Let's just find ourselves. Don't I have to go this way? Isn't that what we decided? Just kind of around this building somewhere. See if you can find a Hayburn Stinker out here. You've probably passed the Hayburn Stinker in Idaho. That's this, we call it the skunk store. You'll know what I'm talking about. Get some gas there. Pick yourself up some burritos. If burritos are your thing. Hayburn traffic does not look like that. In fact, traffic in this game does not look like that. That's a bug. Let's just face it, that's a bug. You're getting like, what kind of shenanigans is this guy introducing me to? First of all, I don't know where the runway is, but I know I have to get around to this fiasco and say goodbye to our orange creamsicle playing over there. Let's just find ourselves a taxiway. Sit back in your car, relax, and know that you're in good hands. This is truly a win-win situation for both of us. You get to do the actual drive, and I get to pretend that I'm doing the actual drive. It really brings a tear to my eye. Okay. Oh, I better put on some brakes because I know there's a runway. But that wasn't the one I was going to take, is it? I don't know. I guess we better figure out where we're at. Let's zoom in here a little bit. Now, you're also going to become a master at learning how to run an aviation Garmin. I mean, that's exciting, right? Who would have known all these things you learn? Oh yeah, straight ahead. Look at that. Straight ahead. And we're going to be in semi-blue skies. If you have any worries, drop them at the door. I have a little thing that I like to do when I've taken, the role-playing too far here. And it's a little thing we call jumping the shark. But hey, you know what? What do I care? We're in paradise. So let's keep a moving. I like to look to see if there's traffic, just to give the impression that I'm a responsible driver. Hello, folks. Have a good day. You may be wondering if you're, driving on a road trip or playing a game of Dungeons and Dragons. Frankly, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that, but just own it. Okay? Now, let's stop. Let's be good citizens and stop at or not. Forget it. No stopping here. It's too late. We're on a mission. This little valley by LaGrande I think it's pretty. Now, one day when you come back and you have more time, if you ever use LaGrande's pit stop, there's a little lake up on that mountain up there somewhere. Okay, you guys, for a moment, I've got to concentrate or we're going to die before we even... Okay, see, that's what happens when you're not responsible. This is a lesson for all your kids. Put down your devices and realize how dangerous it is to talk and especially to navigate a tour when you're trying to gain takeoff. Focus. 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 And let's just lift up. Yeah, see? Hey, it's not pretty, but it works. Okay. Breathe easy. Now, I'm going to look straight ahead. Actually, let's go to our external view. It's just a little easier to get a feel for what we're doing here. Let's reset our view. Oh, there we are. I do have a pilot. My goodness, I didn't realize, okay, I've got to fix that. Give ourselves a little bit of, I could crash at this is the moment I could crash because when I'm moving hands left and right and pushing buttons and let's get our trim down a little bit so that we can get a good solid lift on this craft. Not too fast, because if you do that, guess what? Look at my speed. My speed's just tanking it. If I get down too low, I'm going to stall. We don't want that. Just a slow rise. There's the tunnel ground. Back this way. Yep. We'll come back this way. We're going to do a quick UE. We'll get a little bit of elevation. We're up to 3,400 feet. I didn't realize this is lower elevation than Salt Lake City. I wouldn't have known. I think Salt Lake City were around, at least the valley is around, okay, hang on a second. Let me just focus. We'll talk in a minute. Just sit back and enjoy. Let me get some altitude here. Got a little bit of wind. A little bit of wind wanting to push me around. bully me a little bit here in this valley, we'll have none of it. We could go up into those clouds if you really want a little bit of an adventure. But I'm not going to do it. Not yet. Not yet. Let's get on our way. Now, you would have come from this direction, I believe. I-15, I think, comes... I could be wrong. Now I feel like I'm... If I had my Google Maps. Okay. Let's just spin. That gives us plenty of growth. We're up to 4,100 feet. We're going to want to get some good altitude to get over these mountains. You have some exciting days ahead. So, as I understand it, there's going to be a pit stop in the Dalles. I saw possible mention of eating at Spooky's Pizza. I'm going to continue to recommend that highly because it's Spooky's Pizza. I mean, I don't even care if the pizza tastes good, and it does, by the way, but it's Spooky's Pizza. You got to eat at Spooky's Pizza. So anyways, you have a nice drive through the gorge today. You've got, I believe you were stopping at Cascade Locks as well. I'm going to try to convince you with this flight to make one very, very slight detour on your trip. It'll probably take you 20 minutes. Now I realize you have a very, very long drive. So I won't be offended if you decide not to take it. I totally understand. But it is, if you have clear weather, clear skies, and if you want a beautiful view of Mount Hood, I'm telling you, it's worth just a small little detour. And that's where we're going to be landing today, in the Hood River Valley. And if it gets too dark by the time I get there, I might have to cheat and send the sun back a little bit so you can get a good view. But right now, we'll just let the sun do its thing, spin across the world, give us light, joy, vitamin D, those kinds of things. Now we're on our way. There's I-15 right below you. They're looking at it. That's it. So you're going to be driving on that road. You're going to pass that little pond. I don't know what it is, but you're going to pass it. And you're going to be creeping your way close to LaGrande, straight ahead. With the mountains on your left, you know, it's when you know that life has put you where you belong. I would like to lose a little elevation just so you can just see these beautiful mountains, but such is life. We've got clouds. You may not have clouds. I remember, though, in that Columbia River Basin, when me and my wife drove there with her brother and his family, we stopped. You know, everybody needed to use the number one, I think. And we stopped shortly after Pendleton, and we looked up in the sky. And, holy, you know, The Simpsons, when all those puffy clouds, what are they? Cumulus? I don't know my clouds. But it just looked like The Simpsons. And that was a really stark memory for all of us. Okay, we're up to 6,200 feet, so we're making really good altitude progress. And if we can get past these clouds, I sure would love to get a view of the forest along the way. Say hello to the airport. Let's see if we can see those cars down there just going haywire. Runway 10. Now I'm going to give you a little tutorial on, oh, where's that 30? I really don't have good eyes. I used to have 20/20, but that's looking like a runway. You tell me. 30? Yeah, it's 100% 30, and I'll tell you how I know. Because the number of a runway will always tell you which heading. Look at my compass up there. I'm going 383 degrees. So take off the one digit, and we would be at 38, right? Or is that 306? Holy crap, I am blind as a bat. 306. Take off the 6, you got a 30. That's the heading of your runway. This one's going just the opposite direction. This one's runway 12. And if I were flying the other way, you'd be heading 120 degrees. So there you go. There you go. Maybe you didn't know that. I certainly didn't. Okay, we're going to get a little bit of, okay. I don't know if I like this, honestly, because this could end in death much, much faster than we're ready to acknowledge. So we're going to just for a moment have to fly with our internal instruments. I think I'm going to set my trim to go level flight because I think I got plenty of altitude. At least I hope we do. Slowly. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, and I still have my flaps on, for heaven's sakes. Why didn't you say something? Let's take my flaps off. No need for those at the moment. Oh, hey. There's LaGrande. There she is. Moy's Dynasty. I don't know. I could find it for you. I want to go eat at Moy's again. One day. Probably one day very soon. Not this year, though, because we're going to be heading down to the southern end of the coast in the winter. Okay, now I'm losing a lot of... giving up all my altitude, but that's fine. I'm going to follow I-15. Where did it go? Where did you go, I-15? There it is. I'm going to follow it right up into the canyon. There's I-15. There. Turn a little bit to the left. Oh, goodness. For heaven's sakes. It's not messing around with me, is it? If I can get my instruments to cooperate with me, I think we can get our maps to give us a really good indication where we're at. So let me come down, take a look, but we want to have at least, I don't have, okay, there's our canyon. But let's get some more, oh crap, oh boy, what did I just do? I feel like I did something wrong. I pushed the wrong button. Oh goodness, okay. I meant to do this one. There. Now we can follow I-15 very, very closely. Oh my. Oh my. Okay, well, I didn't anticipate this kind of a tour, but hey. Follow the light. Good time for, you know, discussion on phenomenology, existentialism, nice conversations of faith up here in the clouds. Those are important too. All right. Well, we're going the right direction. My RPMs are a little hot, but like we usually do with most of our teenagers, we just ignore warnings. Let's just keep ignoring them. Here we go. We're going to be entering the canyon shortly. Beautiful train. But it's just the beginning. Now, I'm talking to you like you've never made this trip. I know you've been to Oregon, but what I don't remember is if you've taken this route. That's pretty cool. Wow, I really gave myself a lot of clouds today, apparently. What I don't remember is if you've taken this route or not, because I know you were down south last time, and I think you came from a different direction, from either California or from maybe through Burns and through the southern end of Oregon. I don't know. Maybe none of this is new, but it doesn't matter. Still is beautiful nonetheless. Little less motion sickness driving up here than down there on the winding roads, right? Those roads aren't too bad though. There's a couple hairpin turns, you know, further down the road, but it's not too bad. I don't know. I think I'm gonna drop my altitude. I want to get out of these clouds. So we just pull off the thruster a little bit. That's all we do. And we hope that we're not heading towards our doom, which it looks like we very well might be. So this is challenging. Okay. That's not challenging. It's actually downright frightening. Let me just make sure I've got... There we go. And now we're gaining again. I don't know what we're doing. But I do know we're following the freeway. That's all that matters, right? And we don't need to follow the freeway, now that I think about it. Let's give ourselves a little bit of room on this. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Come on now. Hey you. Cooperate. Cooperate? Cooperate. No, that's not the freeway. That's my flight path. Okay, Jason really doesn't know what he's doing. Jason's flying a lot of clouds. Jason thinks he knows what he's doing, and that's why Jason has no tour customers. And that's why you get this for free. Nothing better than a free tour that has a 60% chance of meeting your maker. Goodness. Well, I'm going west, and that's a positive. We know that's the direction we need to be headed, so don't know where the freeway went. It won't matter. You'll get the point. Wow. I would really just take a dive down there, but I'm worried if I do, it's just, I don't know. Do you think I ought to risk it? Oh, here we go. Here's a little opening. Come on, we can go down a little bit. Can't we? Live a little bit of life. Just a little bit of life. All we need to do is get out of the clouds. That's really... I'm really dropping. I'm really dropping. Okay, no. No more life to live. No more life to live. No more life. No more life. Please, no more life. Please, no more life, please. Okay, I'm struggling. Okay. Kind of got myself nervous. Sorry. I don't know if it's the music or just the really strong desire to show you the next stage of this tour. Let's go west. Go west, my friends. Go west. I'm going to get my trim. And there's just a lot of low clouds. That could be the case, though. Could be realistic. Let me get my trim to cooperate a little bit better. There we go. Now we can relax a little bit. We'll turn a little more directly west. But I think we're following the road. In fact, that may be the freeway right there. Well, I don't know. That's not true. I don't know what the freeway is. I've lost it. We'll find it again when we get on the other side of the mountains here. So Now that you're up on top of the ridge, right? It's like this big. I mean, it's not like just a mountain that you climb over. It's like a ridge up here, right? And you're driving through some trees, and you're like, ooh, we're in Oregon. And the kids are going, oh, now we're starting to see the trees. And then just as soon as your, hopes are at their peak, we're going to go back down. But no one's complaining because we've got some interesting thing down. Blah, 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 whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. It's really hard flying a plane, doing a live stream on YouTube, and trying to be a tour guide at the same time. But it's worth it. All hard things, what would the saying be? Nothing's worth it unless it's hard. I feel like I'm missing the punchline there. Let's see if we're approaching the Basin yet. I kind of feel like I may be just completely drifting off course, and I don't dare look at my map right now. I mean, I'm going west, so I can't be that far off. I can pull open my map up here, maybe get some sense of what's happening, but probably not. Come on, mouse. Put the GPS on us. Zoom out as far as we can go. Yeah, well, I mean, look, I'm pretty impressed that we're even roughly on course after that disaster. Get a little closer to our flight path. Now I can cheat. I can remove some of these clouds, and maybe I should. Just to, I think I'm going to. This was fun. We've all had fun. We've all, had the, what's that song? Finally found the love of a lifetime? No, that's Firehouse. Finally, there's a song. Anyways, I don't know. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about. All I know is there's some 80s guitar solo just cranking in my ear right now. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Another beautiful thing about simulated flight is you get to, bam, just like that. Just like that. Pause in the middle of air. Wouldn't you want to do that in real life? Kind of like the Matrix, right? Just like, and your kids are whining, and they're like, I want to go home, or I want to stay in the hotel. Why do we have to drive anymore? And you just turn around and you freeze them and then give them a wedgie. All right. The reason why we're going to pause this is we're going to change our weather. Let's come in and change the weather to be something maybe, hopefully you'll have a little bit better. Let's change our low cloud cover and move that down a bit. Or just move them up. Let's just move the clouds up. Nope, that's not the clouds that are giving us a problem. It's these ones down here. Let's move these bad boys up. There we go. There we go. Clouds up. Maybe a little less coverage. Maybe a little more scatter. What do we want? What do we want? Let's just play with it until it looks the way we want it. Oh, that's those clouds. It's still these clouds there. I just want them higher. I kind of want them higher. I'm trying to figure out really what it is that's... I mean, it is the afternoon. Whatever. That works. Yeah, that works. It's the sun. That's what it is. It's the sun that's giving me the glare. It's not the clouds. So what we'll do is we'll come out of the clouds and we'll just make sure the aerosol's really low so the air is as clean as... There we go. There we go. Yeah. I mean, you're going in August. Hopefully this is a decent rendition of what you might be experiencing. And now we'll be able to actually see where we're going. And in fact, I'm probably right on top of you. That's probably I-15. But hey, I've said that more than once. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Unfreeze the kids. Here we go. There we go. Due west. So this is the Blue Mountains. Driving them in the wintertime is... I hate to ever say anything's discouraged, but just know what you're getting into. See, we're going down the southern route. We'll have our own issues down there when we're going down towards through Burns and what, Grants Pass and Klamath. I can't remember, but maybe we'll have to go down through Nevada. Just stay as low. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll be building igloos or snow caves. Maybe I'll be doing like a Klondike derby for the with the Boy Scouts, because we won't make it to our destination. I think we're getting close, guys. Even if I'm a little off course, this is the idea. We're coming out the other side of the wormhole. There we go. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of turbulence, not much. Part of me wishes that I would have stuck with that freeway, so, you know, because at some point they wind down this ridge here. We're making good time, though. Faster than a car would be. We're going 115 knots, which is fantastic. Would someone do a knots to miles per hour conversion? I can do that if I get on autopilot, which is, you go, why haven't I been on autopilot all this time? And the reason is because it's kind of fun to fly, just like it's kind of fun to drive. And you always fight, hey, I'd like to drive, or no, I would like to drive, or actually you might fight not to drive. Hey, I want to play Property Brothers. Or, you know, see if there's any Pokestops here in Pendleton. But I love driving. Some people don't like it. Some people, it's more of a task or a chore. love driving. And clearly I love flying. There it is. Now let's see if we can see the highway going down somewhere. It's, yeah, I think there it is right there. I think this is the highway. You may as well follow it, just so you can get a sense of space when you're coming down. They call right up here. I'll be honest. I don't know exactly where it starts and where it stops and what it is. But Cabbage Hill, like near Dead Man Pass. It's Cabbage Hill. I hope I'm going down the right road. It's just really hard to tell. How many large roads are there through this mountain pass, though? Right? Clearly some, because there's some homes down there. And all those buildings are realistic representations of actual homes and farms. Nothing made up here. I mean, you know, the rendering of the actual building itself may not be 100% accurate, but the location and the fact that there is a building. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is I-15. Not I-15. I-84. 84. What have I been calling it? Have I been calling it I-15 this whole time? Welcome to the Columbia River Basin. Really would like to get a bearing on exactly where I'm at, because I just... something doesn't feel 100% right. And it makes me wonder, oh, there's probably the pass we came down, that road, coming down the hill, and then the freeway going this way is most likely what it is. It's a much different experience in the air. You kind of have to pay attention to what you know. And there you go. You've survived the Blue Mountains. And most likely you've survived Dead Man Pass. That might be it right there. You got me beat. There's just more roads on here than I ever knew. So I guess I'm going to have to drive them. Maybe it's that one over there. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I mean, nobody. It's a mystery that will never be solved. And we're off to the races now. I'm gonna pull the map open just so I just 100% know where, because I'm going like due north right now, and that certainly doesn't quite feel right either. So I should know that lake, but I don't. So I'm gonna pull open a map. If I here, let's go autopilot. Let's go autopilot. Coming down to autopilot. We should have done this a long time ago, and then we could actually co-pilot or autopilot and be a more respectable tour guide. Okay. If we're gonna do autopilot, though, we've got to get our heading right first, so we don't just see this little blue bug right here. Let me just zoom in on it. That little guy, that's our heading bug. And we want to come over to autopilot. I'm going to teach you how to run on autopilot. Man, why am I not charging for this? I don't know. All for the joy. And you want to line up whichever heading you want to start on. And I'm just going to start with the heading we're already using right now. And then we're going to turn on the heading button and throw on autopilot, and let's just hopefully we don't dive into a tailspin. Okay, we've got autopilot on. You can see it up here. We've got the heading locked in. We can also lock in altitude, and we may as well do that. I mean, we're going pretty smooth here at 6,400 feet, but let's lock in the altitude. Let's this is the altitude we're at. This is the altitude we want to either maintain or increase. So let's do this. That's way too high. Way too high. Let's come down to yeah, 65, right? There we go. Actually, he's enough. Yeah, maybe we are. I can't tell if this... I thought I had to push the altitude button, but, you know, it shows you what I know. It's either the altitude or vertical speed. Let's just hit altitude. How we doing? Well, that's not looking... yeah. 65. Yep. There we go. Smart autopilot. Good autopilot. Have a treat. Now, this is what they call the flight navigator. The pink is basically where autopilot's sending you. The yellow is where you're at. We're right level with the horizon, so we know we're, you know, not gaining or losing altitude very fast. And we're heading generally a northwestern direction, about 331 degrees. We're heading 119, 18, 17, fluctuating as quickly as Ethereum knots. And now that we're on autopilot, we can actually figure out how fast we're going. But we're not mostly concerned about that. What we're mostly concerned about is moving over to the co-pilot seat. And let's figure out where the crapola we are. We're headed straight to Pendleton, so we are in good shape. Boy. How do you do that without knowing? How do you land where you need to go? And we're actually, we just violated their airspace. Look at that. We should have called in long ago. I guess we better late than never. You can always ask forgiveness, but it's tough to ask permission. May as well call in. Let's call in. Whoop. Pendleton. Let's request some Class D airspace.
Pendleton Tower HeadTrip 12 is type Cessna Skyhawk 6 miles south of Pendleton, 6,500 feet. Requesting transition.
HeadTrip 12 transition approved. Report clear of Pendleton Tower airspace. Maintain on navigation.
Will report clear HeadTrip 12.
Okay, they were kind. They were very, very forgiving. They must have been in a good mood today. So technically, before we enter their airspace, we're supposed to get permission. But technically speaking, we're supposed to have a pilot's license. I guess we've broken 2 rules. Now, you see what's ahead of us, don't you? Don't you. This is, whoops, I just did something really funky. There we go. This is the, Columbia River. We're kind of sort of headed the wrong way, but I figured we may as well do it because Pendleton is below us. So let's get out and take a look below and see Pendleton. If you want to stop and get some snacks, that doesn't look like that. Looks like Pendleton. That looks like Pendleton. Pendleton's kind of just your old Dusty West cowboy town. I say that, but it's not really a cowboy town. But it is, has a cowboy history. It has a an outlaw history, I believe. And let me show you some. If we can get on the right heading, I'll show you a little bit about those underground tours in Pendleton. So autopilot's doing its job, but we're kind of going more towards Washington right now, which isn't ideal. Let's move our heading more towards the Columbia River Gorge, which is over by Boardman. So I'm going to zoom in here. We're really going to need to just go flat west, I think, at this point in time. But let's zoom out a tad, and we're going to enter the Columbia River Gorge. Well, maybe we're not too bad. Maybe we're not too bad after all. I think it's like kind of this way. Who knows? Doesn't matter. Once we hit the river, we'll just follow the river and we'll go into the gorge. How's that? Does that work for you? Works for me. And then, you know what's after that? Then you're going to see the wonderful windmills, the air farms, and the dams. If you're lucky, you might see a train going along the Columbia River, and then you're going to hit, in no time at all, the Dalles. And the Dalles is just, I really, really like the Dalles. I don't know if you've stayed in the Dalles before, but you'll enjoy it, even if it's for 10 minutes before you're sleeping and back on the road at 3 in the morning, whatever. Got a lot of planes around here. Look at this. Look at all these planes we've got. Everybody knows. See, these, and they're all going the right direction. That's the important part. They're like, get to the coast, get to the coast, get in the gorge. Let's go check out Mount Hood. And we may be able to see Mount Hood now that I think about it. Hang on. Mount Hood. Not yet. It's out that way. Maybe, but I don't think so. Maybe. We're just far away enough that it's just hard to tell. Okay, so let's get... Sorry, got distracted. Let's just turn our heading a little bit to the left, shall we? So watch that bug. Okay. Become autopilot wizards. There we go. And we're just going to slightly turn our autopilot, and our plane will obey like the good plane it is. We'll go a little further than that, though. We'll go maybe 300 degrees. There we go. Does that get us kind of generally? Yeah, maybe even more, but... Man, there are a lot of planes here. See if we can see them. See if you can spot any of the planes. I doubt you'll be able to. Until they come up and just whiz right by us, which they always like to do. Fun little valley to fly in. There's the river. Once you hit the river, you can't get lost. You just can't get lost. Well, you can't get lost really from LaGrande. Well, you really can't get lost, period, from Salt Lake City, because you're just taking I-84 all the way out to Portland. But we'd like to make it more dramatic than it sounds. Oh, I promised you that Pendleton guide. So one moment, let me pull open. See if we can make this happen. Maybe TripAdvisor, you think? TripAdvisor. I'll bring it up shortly. Just one moment. Pendleton, Oregon. There we go. Okay. So, we'll trust our autopilot to do his job, and you can trust your tour guide to do his. Things to do in Pendleton. I'll bet you number 1 or number 2 is going to be that 3, 4, what a liar I am, 5, 6, 7, a lot of museums. Dead Man's Pass Viewpoint. Where's that tunnel? Oh, there it is, right there. Underground tour. Underground tour. Pendleton, underground tour. 284 reviews, averaging 4.5 stars. So, let's just give you a little taste of what some of these reviews say. But let's see if we have a description first. Do we have a description? Maybe not. Great tour, given by awesome people. It was absolutely awesome, this tour. On this tour, the guy was in... Oh boy, I put myself to sleep. Let's just look at pictures. What's down here? Underground tour. I think it was like some kind of like speakeasy or something down there at some point in time. It's where all the rough and tumble guys use, and they went. My goodness, I need to Wikipedia this. It's underneath one of the hotels, I think. Yeah, and I think it was like a, oh, how do we put this? You know, one of those less than reputable hotels. You know what I mean? Anyways, there was this underground tunnel to it where apparently all the outlaws would come and, I don't know, gamble, and let's just Wikipedia. What a bad tour guide I am. I didn't prepare. But hey, look. You get what you pay for a little bit. Pendleton, Oregon. We'll start there. And then we're going to do a quick search. Control F4. Oh, what? I didn't want that. How do I do it? Control. That's better. Underground. There we go. The Pendleton Farmers Market operates on Friday evenings from May through October on South Main Street. Pendleton Underground Tours, which features the history of Pendleton and a tour through the tunnels and the brothels. It is open year-round. And why shouldn't it be? Let's see. There was no link to underground tours. Media, notable people. Well, maybe I've made it a bigger deal than it is. Clearly, I thought it was like, you know, like, geez. Underground. Pendleton Underground Tour. Underground City, huh? There you go. That's good. Okay, here you go. Now this is what we're talking about. Now, just one moment. Let's make sure we're like not going to crash into the... Oh yeah, we better... There's the river. We better... And Boardman is... probably out this way. Let's change our heading. We've made it to the river. You'll have to tell me what it's like just to listen to one of your neighbors just yab on for, you know, 2 hours of your trip. Just probably torturous. And I'm some kind of narcissist thinking that you're going to listen to it at all. Apparently. But I would, if I were you. I would listen to every single word. Whoops. A little more. I think that's Mount Hood. Right there. You can see it on my instruments. You see it out there? There it is. We'll get there soon enough. And you get glimpses of it. You get glimpses of Mount Hood along this gorge drive. But if you want the bang for your buck view, you got to pull into that valley. And it's really not that far off the beaten path. I mean, once you get to Hood River, you're just going to take a quick detour, maybe 15 minutes in. Maybe just pull over at this little spot called Panorama Point, or you don't even need to do that. But that's what I would recommend. Get up there, take some family photos. Now, if it's foggy, if it's totally clouded over, if the mountain's not visible, maybe not. But I'd give it a try. I mean, come on. You only live once, right? Okay, at least we got a good heading. So what we'll do is we will promote ourselves shamelessly. Everybody, you can find us on YouTube, HeadTrip Air World Tour, along with its sister. I don't want to call it a company because I haven't paid for a license. Let's just call it a travel experience, or a let's just call it, tomfoolery. Anyways, attention passengers, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Over the next few weeks and months and years, if I still feel motivated to do so, we will be putting out several episodes, 1 to 2 a week probably, along with our tour. So let me give you a brief idea of what the plan is. I have a dream, and my dream is to circumnavigate the globe, touching down on every nation on the planet without crashing and without dying in Flight Simulator. And having, co-pilots along the way just to fly with me, and enjoy the world in a way that we've never experienced before. Seeing new places, meeting new people, discovering new cultures, crashing in new places, dying in new places, erecting tombstones in new places, and then picking ourselves up, dusting ourselves off, and getting back in the cockpit and doing it all over again until we finally go 360 around the globe, hit every nation, every state in the U.S., arrive back in Salt Lake City, and call it the greatest victory of not only our life, but possibly of our generation. So don't forget to hit that notification bell. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because that's what YouTubers say. Because they want viewers and they want subscribers, because they want money, but I ain't getting no money. Because I'm using royalty-free songs that require ads that have to pay the artists, and so I am not eligible for monetization. And that's probably a good thing, because as long as you don't expect money, then you don't miss it, right? You don't miss it. And plus, money gets in the way of the true joy, just the true joy of the journey. So anyways, enough with shameless promotion. Let's come back and read a little bit about the underground world of Pendleton. Have you ever wondered about the underground history of Oregon that you don't typically find in textbooks? And there's a reason for that. There are a few places still left in Oregon that bring that history to life, and one of them is the world-famous Pendleton Underground. Hiding beneath the streets of downtown Pendleton is a secret district that has been around for more than 100 years. Today, you can take a tour of that abandoned underground city, and that will make you feel like you've been transported into the past. During these uncertain times, please keep safety in mind and consider adding destinations to your bucket list to visit at a later date. Well, I think we're too late for that. So, hey, hidden away beneath the city of Pendleton, the Pendleton Underground is a network of tunnels that once was home to many secret businesses, both legal and illegal. There's a picture of it right there. Don't look, Tony. Keep your eyes on the road. Eyes on the road. Alright, the tunnel were built by Chinese workers who had been harshly discriminated against by the town's white population, to the point that it was unsafe for Chinese people to be out after sunset in order to run businesses and move freely from place to place. Hidden tunnels were built beneath the city. Now that is, number one, that's innovation. Number two, that's motivation. Number three, that's just genius. And it's unfortunate they had to be driven to that. That's kind of a sad story, but that's survival. Eventually forming a secret underground district that was home to both legal and illegal businesses. So I guess go big or go home. Throughout the Pendleton Underground were saloons, apothecaries, bordellos, a butcher shop, an opium den, and more. Today, the remnants of these businesses still remain, and some have been recreated to show what the underground was like all those years ago. The long-abandoned tunnels were discovered in the 1980s when potholes began appearing in the roads above. What they found beneath was and still is downright fascinating. Nowadays, you can see it for yourself by taking a tour with Pendleton Underground Tours. You'll be led through some of the tunnels by historians that I can't read. By some of the tunnels by historians that fill you in on the history and lore surrounding this mysterious place. Oh my gosh, is that a dead body? Oh no, that's just someone sleeping. But that was a pretty good, I mean, that's pretty good, you know what I'm saying? It's a pretty good sales pitch right there for the underground tour. The tour takes about 1.5 hours and costs $15. This is one tour you won't, and I repeat, won't soon forget. To take the tour, you must make a reservation first. The office is located at, write it down, 31 Southwest Immigrant Avenue, Pendleton, Oregon. It's open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day, except Saturdays and Tuesdays, and when they don't want to open up. Actually, I said that. That was my input, but I'm just saying, it's possible. But hey, I think they're open every day except Sundays and Tuesdays. Find out more on Pendleton Underground Tours website or by calling 541-276-0730. This was not a paid advertisement. I am not sponsored by Pendleton Underground Tours, although I will say I would love to be, and I don't need money, but what I would love to have is just a bag of M&Ms and maybe just a Coke. Okay, moving on. So there's your Pendleton Underground. We'll leave this up in case we come across a few other things that we want to discover. Let's get back to our plane. Let's see what we're... Okay, at least we're not too far adrift from the river. I'm gonna bring the plane down a little bit. Let's bring our altitude down, and so we can enjoy this nice stroll along the river. I'm not even 100% sure we're in the gorge yet, but I think we are. Like down there. It's just hard to tell because when you're down in it, it looks like it's much more of a ravine, but maybe that's more up here. Maybe we're not in it yet. Actually, you know what? I don't think we're in it yet. The gorge is coming up, where you see those inclines start to take place. So let's move. Hey guys, we might make it to Hood River tonight. I mean, you won't make it to Hood River, but I might. You'll make it to the Dalles, and that's good enough. Okay, what time is it? Are we making time? Oh, it's 11 o'clock. Okay. We can get there by midnight. That's a pretty good trajectory right there. I'm going to bring our altitude down now. Here we come. Hang on. Do I need to push the altitude button again? Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, please buckle your seatbelts. We don't completely know what's going to happen when we push this button. And it turns out much of nothing. Right? What happened? We're supposed to go down when we lower our altitude. Our flight director is supposed to cooperate with us. I could be wrong, though. Maybe we're not on. I don't know what's going on. Let's just go to vertical speed mode. How's that? So we're at 6,500. I don't want to mess too much with this. Let's just go back up to 6,500. Oh, that's weird. Now it's going down. Now will it go down? I certainly need to read the manual on this autopilot. Maybe we need to flick this switch. Well, that's going down by thousands, so that's... I mean, I wouldn't mind losing about 1,000 feet. Altitude. Yeah, clearly I don't get it. Well, maybe I do. I mean, we're down. Yeah, I mean, maybe I do. Let's go all the way down to like 56 and then push it. Right? Maybe it just takes a moment to think. 56 altitude. Nope. Oh, I know. No, I don't know. Let's just try the vertical speed. Billy Dagger. Oh, for heaven's sakes, guys. Autopilot. Do I have to do this manually? That's it. Autopilot's coming off. Oh my, what did I do? It'll be more fun flying in the gorge anyway, so let's just pull down our speed. And we're going to drop. Hopefully not too fast. So when you're dropping really fast and your speed starts getting out of control, sometimes you need to put some flaps on to create a little bit of lift and drag so you don't just overspeed and kill yourself. And you see we're getting up there on the left. Our airspeed's getting up to about 120, 70, about 130 knots. We're losing some good altitude, but that's okay. Everything is A-okay. Just keep coming down. I suspect the river's about, what, maybe 4,000, well, no, it's going to be well below that, most likely. It's going to be, I don't know, I guess we'll find out. It's down there a bit, though. Still don't know if we're in the gorge, because is this Boardman right here? This is, yeah, we're not even in the gorge yet. We really kind of took the long way along this river, but that's okay because we had some research to do, right? So anyways, Pendleton Underground Tours, maybe on your next visit. Or maybe I just convinced you to go on this visit and you're like, hey man, maybe we'll just pull into the Dalles at 1 in the morning, and just, or whatever, whenever you're going to get there. Might be worth it, frankly. Okay. Down to 30,000 feet. And we'll be entering the gorge soon. we're going to be entering the gorge during sundown. So we're going to get a sunset, apparently. I mean, it's August. And by the way, I set this for the date that you'll be traveling, I believe. So sun should be in its right position. Yeah, we're going to get a gorgeous sunset tonight. Hopefully you're as lucky. You probably will too. It's a lot drier out here than on the coast. Clearly, as you can tell. Okay, let's get our trim up a little bit. Don't want to run into the river. As soon as we see the wind farm, we'll know. Oh my goodness. I need to kick my throttle up somehow. I knocked that down. Let's see. That's what's going on here. I don't want to climb really. Let's fix my trim there. Wow. I guess sea level makes sense, right? I mean, at the end of the day. Or close to it. For a river this big. Goodness, I'm really kind of struggling here. There we go. I just feel like I need to get some decent. That feels pretty good. You're going to follow this river all the way out to Portland. And then if you were to continue to follow, it would go all the way out to Astoria, which you may get up to at some point in time your stay out there. Fix my trim a little bit. Maybe that down. Where's that wind farm? I know it's up here. We're going a little slower than we were before. We're at about 88 knots. play a game to see how close to the water we can get without dying. Might be kind of fun. We really are sinking though. I'm still not convinced that we're in the gorge, which,
500.
oh my goodness, 500's about as big of a risk as I'm willing to take at this point in time. Ah. When you play with fire, you always get burned, so let's try to be at least a little reasonable. You're going to say goodbye to the last of the really deserty or savanna-y. What's the word? Savanna-y. Brushy part of Oregon, at least up this far north. So once we get to the gorge and once we get beyond and crossing the Cascade Range and then into the Portland area, Willamette Valley, and the Coastal Range, 2 mountain ranges, and at that point you're in green. There's a few wind farms. They're not the ones that I remember, though. There's the freeway. So, yeah, I would not say we are in the gorge proper. But we're getting there. Nice little wind farms out there. You're going to see some more up here once we get in. Should we say hi to some of our friends down here on the freeway? Let's see if their driving skills have improved since LaGrande. We're definitely making ground on them, though. Maybe that's you. Maybe that's you guys right down there. There you are. Look up. Wave. Say hello. What color is your car? Maybe you gotta figure that out first. Don't let me run into a windmill. And there's the train track right there. It's always nice when you're driving right alongside a train. That makes for some good pictures along the gorge. Keep your eye open for them. No wonder why there's a lot of wind. Look at that, just flat. Just flat. Maybe one day we'll get to the point where we can have a few more of those in Utah. Frankly, put them in my front yard and you're going to get plenty of wind. I'll tell you that much. You know that story, right? Wondering why they haven't made a wind farm in our neighborhood. I think it replaced my roof tiles like 9 times. Now the only thing that they need to work on a little bit in this game that I've noticed is once in a while along water beds they get these little exaggerated jaggies. I mean, obviously you don't have these that sharp. I mean, you might there, but I've noticed it's a little less than smooth once in a while when it's following riverbeds, and I don't know why that is. Let's see if we can get down there. I'm trying without just slowly. Just bring my throttle down a little bit. Okay, I should know what this is right here. Oh. Okay, I've got to be careful. Sorry. Can't have much of a meaningful conversation. I should know what this is right there, but I've forgotten. What little community is that? I once knew, and now I've forgotten. And I don't dare look it up, or the risk of dying. There's some more wind farms. Now pretty soon we're going to come up, well, I shouldn't say pretty soon, I don't know how long we've got, but in a bit, when we get closer to Dalles, we're going to be a few dams here that we're going to be running into. There you go. Hopefully we get to the Dalles before the sunset, and hopefully we get to Hood River before it's just pitch black. We don't want that, because I've got to go over a few hills. I've been known to die in the dark many times. So the question is, that I have for you is, as you look around, as you're watching this video, and by the way, you better download this before you get in the gorge, because you're not going to have any cell phone service in there probably. If you've made it this far in the gorge, you probably don't have any cell phone service. Is my guess. Could be wrong. Maybe Cricket. Maybe Cricket's the one who's dominated the market in the Columbia River Gorge. cricket or what is that? What's that one where that the kids use? You know what I'm saying? Do we have a better view of Mount Hood? See, this is what I'm talking about, right? Like, it's not like we're that far from Hood, and yet, like, it's just not poking its beautiful little head up right now. Because you're going to be down in this, even more so than I am, you're going to be down in this gorge, and it's, you're going to have some restricted views. Not going to be able to see everything from down there. And even when you get right up to it, you know, once you start getting in more forested terrain, I mean, the trees then take over, and it's hard to get a good snapshot of that mountain. But if you go into the valley, well, like I say, if the day is clear, if the sun is up, if the feeling's right, hop in there, take a quick look at the valley. It's just a pretty place. It's just a pretty place. A lot of orchards in there, and just the backdrop of the mountain. Hood River Valley is a place that would be really, really fun to live. My wife has a friend who lived in Hood River Valley, and every time we even go there and take photos, she's just jealous. She misses it. I don't blame her. Now, here's another thing. Like, if you really want to find good food, and forgive me because I'm not a seafood person, which is really odd because you go, well, why else would you come to Oregon, right? I mean, that's to come to get the seafood. So I certainly appreciate those who do so. But and I'll get some nice shrimp, and once in a while some crab and some things like that. But it's just not my typical cup of tea. But I know some in your family like seafood, some don't. But in Hood River Valley, it's a little. I mean, it's probably from this main stretch. Like once you get to Hood River, from that freeway, it's probably a half-hour drive. But there's a place called Apple Valley Barbecue that I thought was really good. That was really fun. It's in Parkdale in Hood River Valley. And Apple Valley Barbecue is not a sponsor of HeadTrip Air World Tours or HeadTrip Air Travel Corp. But one day, they may be. Wow, we got like, that's funky. Not sure the road does that per se. Whoa, what? Okay, hang on. Well, I'm texting and driving again. That's the beauty of simulations. Okay. Starting to get pretty though. I'll tell you that much. What I was looking at, and here I go again. Just can't help myself, but those roads are like, I mean, that's a little funky. Suffice it to say, you don't need to worry about the roads, you know, going sideways on hill like Mario Kart. At least not the last time I went. You tell me if you find otherwise. Now I'm learning something here by doing this. This is my first official, you know, flight stream guided tour. And I'm learning that if I go places that I really like, I'm a really bad tour guide. Because I just like to look around and mess around. And not as useful as I could be, as I should be. I don't want to let autopilot play this. I want to be driving this stretch of the road. I don't think I ever turned on my nav lights. Oh well. There's another violation on my certificate, I guess. There is an airport in the Dalles, and I could stop there. But I'm kind of eager to. Here's what I'll do. I'll kind of do a fly through the Dalles. Like, I won't just zoom by it, because I know that's going to be your resting spot. So I'll try to. I will try to. Sorry, it's really hard to talk and fly at this altitude. I'll try to give you a good view of the town. Might even be able to pinpoint Spooky's Pizza. That's going to be hard without advanced planning on my part, though. I don't think I'll be able to find it without knowing what I'm looking for when I'm going this fast. I can kind of give you the general area. We'll get close. Okay, pump back in.
500.
Is that Tony and Melissa down there somewhere? Are we almost there yet? We almost there yet? Goodness. Goodness. Oh, goodness. Let's watch our altitude. Well, that music got really ominous fast. I don't know if that's an omen of what's to come. About now, I'm kind of wishing I would have put those little floaty bobbers on the bottom of my plane so we could just land in the water and call it a day. But unfortunately, I never got my Eagle Scout and never probably learned the true meaning of be prepared. I did make tenderfoot, though. I was proud of that. Got a couple of those little skill awards that you put around your belt. You know, go into a tent with your friend and he quizzes you and you go, oh yeah, I've done that. Get that skill award. I think I lost my totem chip a few times though. You don't want to lose your totem chip. I lost my totem chip and I didn't even know I had one. But I was chopping on some tree when I was a kid, and the guy came up to me and said, do you have a totem chip? And I was like, what? Or what? And I don't know. He threatened to take it away, and I didn't have one. But I think he did take away my axe. And he should have, you know. Just a scout, not really paying attention to the scoutmaster. I should have been. Ever since then, I've never hacked on the trees again. But I have chopped wood. That which leads me to here's one of our little dams. Check this out. Let's see if we can get a view of this. If Jason can learn how to use controls and not kill himself at the same time. Okay, backwards. Right's left, left is right, right? Let's keep track of our... There we go. There's one of them. Hey guys, there it is. There's a view of the hood. It's out there. Oh, now you know, you go in the cockpit and then my little compass is in the way. That's just karma, isn't it? What if we turn to the right a little bit? There's hood. So you will get some snapshot. I mean, you'll get some views of it. But if you want the close-up, wow, I'm a salesman, ain't I? I'm gonna totally derail your trip. Maybe I should be a salesman. Slick car salesman. The boring kind that talks for 2 hours while they're flying a plane. Okay, we are making progress. I think we're going to be hitting the Dalles in not too long. I mean, that's my gut feel. That's my gut feel, but then again, like this, it's like kind of like driving in Utah Valley, right? You're coming up from St. George or whatever, and it's been a long drive through the desert, and then all of a sudden you hit civilization. You're like, ah, Utah Valley, I'm almost home, and then 2 days later, you finally arrive in Salt Lake. That's what it feels like on that last little stretch of your journey. Because you're having to drive anywhere but the direction you should be driving to get where you need to go out there. You know the story. You know the drill. The beautiful gorge. I miss it. They've had some wildfires here the last little bit. Like 1 year they had one up towards Multnomah Falls. There's some more wind farms up there on the horizon. There was one night that we were here really late, and stargazing was amazing. Stargazing is nice in the gorge, in the sense that, to the degree you can, you know, I mean, you don't have a very good horizon, but anything above, whatever, 30 degrees or something, you're in good shape. Hopefully I didn't lie to you about the Dalles, but it feels like we're making progress towards the Dalles, to me. Because we're going 130 knots. I mean, it's hard to beat that. In a little Cessna, at least. I'll tell you what, let's crank the music up a little bit in this last little leg. What do you think? Now it's party time. You know, when the beats come, the pizza comes. DJ Captain Wheeler taking you down the gorge. We'll be arriving in the Dalles shortly. I'd like you to put your seats in the upright position. Please keep your seatbelts fastened until the plane comes to a full stop. The flight attendants will be coming around to take any trash you have. So if you need to use the restroom facilities, please know that it is well beyond time for that. So sit back and relax, enjoy the party jams, and we'll be arriving shortly in the Dalles. Ladies and gentlemen, do you feel the excitement in the air? Your journey has been long. Your experience has been invigorating. While we know it'll be nice to step out of the cockpit and stretch your legs, maybe down the riverfront park in the Dalles. We also realize that your captain has often been using broad sentences and often making comments that are truly not very coherent at times. At this altitude, it is very possible that we may jump the shark. But it's okay. Because we are here. With the beautiful backdrop of the majestic Mount Hood, and with the auditory backdrop of royalty-free synthwave music, we invite you to close your eyes, dream big. Ladies and gentlemen,
500.
welcome to Oregon. We hope you enjoy your stay. We hope you find your travels worthwhile. Please be aware that Oregon is a state currently, as the rest of us, just battling difficult days. So be respectful, be polite, show a smile to a neighbor as you walk by. Lend a helping hand help an elderly woman cross the street, or find a Narrabus cannabis shop in Portland. As you can see out your left window, we are approaching the Dalles, a beautiful resting spot for you with many good eateries, many good views. We hope you enjoy your stay here. As you can see, there's probably a Walmart or something to that effect, and hopefully I'm not going to kill us. Plenty of establishments for you to enjoy and patronize. Keep in mind that travel has been difficult in the state of Oregon for the last year and a half, so please be generous with your patronage. Be sure to spend more than you have means. You are, after all, on vacation, and it's not difficult to see just how many things you can buy with just a little bit of money in the Dalles. Spooky's Pizza is about right around this area, roughly so, on the western edge of the Dalles. I wish I could give you more detail at this point in time. And we will be pressing on. I apologize for those who are really desperately needing to use the facilities. We hope you can hold it for just a little longer. Our next stop up the road is going to be Hood River. And I'm pleased to report I think we'll get there before dusk. We'll likely be able to enjoy a nice sunset with the backdrop of the beautiful Mount Hood. Local time right now in Utah is 11:45 p.m. So I guess my estimate of a midnight arrival is probably not too far off. If you're looking for a nice breakfast the night after you stay in the Dalles, I would highly recommend a little riverside joint in Hood River, which is, I want to say, maybe roughly 45 minutes away from the Dalles, give or take. May have to have someone fact check me on that. Hood just barely peeking up on that horizon. If you can see our map below, that gives you a really good indication of where we are and where we'll be landing. So we really are not that far from our destination, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be crossing the finish line very shortly. Well, I lied to you. That's Hood over there. That one over on this side is Rainier. I apologize. And Mount Rainier, that's a spectacle in and of itself. Mount Rainier on your right, Mount Hood on your left. And I've now moved full-time into the smooth jazz talking voice. That's right, folks. It's all smooth jazz from this point forward. Know you're in good hands with HeadTrip Air. We've gone to great lengths to make sure that you've enjoyed your stay, felt safe in the skies, despite a few turbulent setbacks. But fear not, this is only the first leg of our journey. From here, we'll be moving on through the remainder portion of the Columbia River Gorge. Unfortunately, a few of the attractions are closed, such as Winona Gorge. What a beautiful hike that would have been. But there's still Multnomah Falls, and there's certainly still Hood River Valley. You have Portland ahead with your Voodoo Donuts and your LDS Temple visit. You also have the Willamette Valley to enjoy. Now, let me break from my smooth jazz for a moment. Let's look outside as we approach Hood River. left here, folks, and we're going to take you up to the valley. This is the detour that I've been speaking of. You'll be down at ground level. You won't have quite the vantage point you would have at this elevation, but as you take this road right here, right on my left, take this little road and come over across the hills into the valley. It's a beautiful drive. You won't regret it. Beautiful hill backdrops on both sides, to the east and to the west. One of the most beautiful valleys in Oregon, and perhaps one of the most beautiful valleys in the world. I can attest that if you drive around this time of night, those hills look red like a delicious apple. We're coming up on Panorama Point, I believe. Maybe not quite yet. Keep your eyes out for a little hill, a little hood peeking up above the orchards. It's around here, around this area. I lose track. But you won't mind getting lost in this valley. It's here somewhere. there's the airport. That's exciting. That wasn't the airport that I was looking to land at, but it's an airport nonetheless, or it looks to look like an airport. That looks like an airport to me. Little landing strip. Now, I gotta tell you, let me give you another little hint for the next time you come up around this place. Tucked back in these mountains off here, kind of on a winding dirt road up in the hills, is a little lake called Lost Lake. And Lost Lake is fantastic because you can rent a little cabin there on the lake. You can rent little canoes, or kayaks I should say, and just kayak out on the lake, and you've got a perfect view of this Mount Hood in the backdrop from that lake. I could take you up there. It's up in those hills, but I don't think we'll do it tonight. Maybe on our way out, possibly. Maybe we'll fly over Lost Lake. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Now this, I believe, don't quote me, but I believe this is Parkdale. And I believe this is where the Apple Valley Barbecue is. I didn't really intend to drive this far into the valley, and by any means, if you're on a short leash with time, you probably wouldn't want to drive this far into the valley, but you're probably at least a half hour off of I-84 at this point. That's my guess. But it's wonderful. I mean, we've kind of explored around in here, and it's just, man, it is just a wonderful, isolated little valley. It's hard to get better than this. Okay, now the temptation, very significant temptation, is to look at that mountain and try to conquer it and say, I want to fly up to the peak of that mountain. And I've done that before. And trust me, it is not as easy as it looks. It took some major doing to get this little plane up to the top of that mountain, winding around and around and around and around and around and around and around. But anyways, that's not on our itinerary today. I just wanted to give you a good sneak peek. I think we better turn around. I'm glad we filled up a nice tank of fuel. We're getting down to the lower quarter of our fuel. We'll head back to the airport, see if we can do a landing, and then we'll call it a night. And now I can stop talking, maybe in that, Barry, whatchamacallit voice. I was going to say Barry Gibb, but it's certainly not Barry Gibb. I forgot Barry, you know what I'm talking about. There's Rainier. That would be another fun one to go to. Rainier's even bigger. It's impressive. That sucker is impressive. You may even be able to, probably not from here, but Mount St. Helens, once you get over to Portland, you'll get a shot of Mount St. Helens in the distance as well. Kind of like that glare I get driving west over near my home. Squinting going over those overpasses. Let's take a look at our map and see if we're okay. I think we're going to have to approach the runway certainly a little differently than we are. Let me just take a look here what we need to do. That's going to be a runway running east to west, so I think I'm going to head over here. I don't know which way to approach it better. I'm almost tempted to approach it from the other side. Where do I have more room? What does it look like to you? Seems like I have more space to work coming from this direction. There's our sunset. Perfect, perfect timing. Couldn't have timed that better. I need to give myself more room to work. I think we still have our taxi lights on. I don't think we ever took them off. Well, it's going to be a bit of a negotiated landing, but I can feel that wind pushing up underneath from you on that ridge. You fly above these mountains, and all of a sudden you can feel that wind pushing you around like a little rag doll. Look for the lights. Thought I just saw it. Thought I just saw a light. It's gotta be down there. Maybe not quite. Look for the lights. Where's the airport? I gotta be careful here. This is interesting terrain. Gotta be getting close. Do you guys see it? Any day now. Any day now. Maybe I should have taken that other airport further in the valley. This one will be fun. Then we'll be close to the little game shop. Fun little, Hood River's fun little shopping area. Believe it or not. Just a fun little town. It's gotta be coming. Let's look for the airport lights. I think it's there. There it is. There it is. Now, I'm really not in the headspace to land, but we don't have a choice. So if I crash, it's still been a good journey. Let's get our speed down. Get our elevation down. Put some flaps down. There we go. We've got a pretty good trajectory on the airport. It would be nice to know exactly what altitude pavement's at, but I think we'll survive it. So far, so good. Now you don't want to drop too much speed or else you'll stall. So sometimes you just gotta give it a little gas. Just a little gas. Not much though.
500.
See if we can get ready to hit our brakes. This is the hardest part. Sorry, I scared myself. I'm gonna do it external. Oh, that's too hot. There we go, come on. Come on, right there. Just pump those brakes. Pump those brakes just a little bit. And pump them a little bit more since the end of the runway is coming fast. Pump them, hold them, hold them. And that's a landing. Woo! My goodness, that's always a little tense for me. Always a little tense for me. Don't know why. Okay, guys. As ridiculous as a few of those moments got, look, I mean, there's only so much you can do over, I don't know how long we've been in the air, but there's only so much one man can do talking to himself. So apologize a little bit of the corniness there. Let's just request some taxi to parking. I guess that's what editing's for, right? Then again, I am clear of the runway.
4 Sierra 2 traffic HeadTrip 12 is clear of the runway.
I think that's all we need to do. I mean, we don't need automated weather.
4 Sierra 2.
So let's just see if there is any parking up here. Wouldn't be on this map. Let's see. Let's pull it open on our overhead map here. Okay. Yeah, we got some parking up there. We're just hop, skip, and a jump away. So while we wrap up, like I say, as dumb and corny and cheesy as a few of those moments were, it was still a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun for me. I absolutely love making that drive, and you're just getting started. I mean, it does get nothing but better and better as you get towards that coast. You know the story. You've been down on the southern end, but if this is your first time up towards the top end, there's lots up here to see. Lots up here to do. Lots up here to eat. And to just soak in. One day maybe I'll get some more co-pilots to help me man the ship and give you a little better of a tour experience. But you learned about the underground Pendleton. You learned about the Hood River Valley. You learned about Dead Man Pass and the Blue Mountains and LaGrande. And you learned about Lost Lake. Although you haven't seen it yet. You might, though. Soon. You learned about synthwave music. You learned about monetization, or the lack thereof, on YouTube. The lack of subscribers. Who needs subscribers, though, when you got this? Looks like we got a slight breeze going to the east. Nothing too alarming. Hopefully in the next couple of days, before you leave on your trip, I can maybe fly the next segment from here out to Portland, take a fly around Portland. Maybe we'll see the falls. Just one moment, let's see, what did we do here? There we go. What else? We've got the falls ahead of us. We've got the Willamette Valley. We've got Tillamook Forest. Lincoln City down there. Astoria. Maybe I'll try to follow your path. Go in the order that you go. A little bit of parking over here. Cue the back crap crazy drivers. think we'll take this parking spot right here. Actually, let's see if we can get a guy to park us. I don't know if we will be able to, but these guys in these airports that are really slow, they don't do a whole lot to help. But in some of the bigger airports, they'll just flag you right on in. My wife would be jealous of that plane. She loves her orange. Okay. We'll just park her right there. Look at that sky. Look at that view. To the south. I would say to the north, but you know. Let's shut her down. Okay, so let's take this in reverse. If you recall, pilot lesson number 2. Let's just bring you down. I think the first thing we'll do is we'll put all of our mixture fully in. We'll just tuck that away. Make sure our throttle's all the way out. Let's get our lights off. Certainly don't need our taxi lights anymore. I think we're safe to put our strobe off. Our fuel pump, I still haven't figured out whether that needs to be on or off the whole time, but it seems like our flight went pretty well with it on, so I think we can bring our bacon down now. We better be safe. Can't see down there. Maybe I'll put my flashlight on. There we go. Let's put on the parking brake. Always make sure you put the parking brake on. We can turn the fuel line. Well, I guess that was on shared fuel. I don't know. That works. I think we're ready to turn this baby off. Okay. Turn off our avionics. And shut down the propellers. Let's just see. It was a beautiful flight, folks. Oh, I turned off my battery, but I didn't shut down the actual. There we go. There we go. Your first flight with HeadTrip Air. You win, I win, we all win. And by the way, I need to tell you, and now I'm here back into that Barry voice. Barry who? Barry White. That's what I was thinking of. But I don't sound anything like Barry White. I don't know why I think I sound like Barry White. What I was going to say, though, is once this sun goes down and these stars come out, in this game, just in case you're curious, in fact, you can see it starting right now. There's Scorpius. Look at this. You can't see it unless it's on a big screen. Let me see if I can zoom. I bet you I can zoom. It's hard to zoom at that angle. Those stars right up there. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. There's Antares coming down. And once it gets darker, you'll see the whole tail and stinger of the scorpion. Nice little summer constellation that's constantly there. Here's the teapot, Sagittarius. Star there, 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 there. That's the teapot with the spout. And the teapot handle right there. Once it gets dark, you'll really see a teapot. Handle, spout, teapot. And so much more. Milky Way will come out when it gets dark. That was a fun flight. So I don't know. I mean, if that doesn't at least get you excited for where you're headed to, I don't know what does. So once again, thank you for joining your personal, customized tour from the air, HeadTrip Air. Very first customer, by the way. Very first customer. Potentially the last customer. And then you were like, slowly fade that music off. And camera, lights,